guys, Portalmaster9351 here, and welcome to the very first episode of Skylanders Showdown Season 4. I am so excited to finally be getting around to releasing this video and doing it, and basically redoing Skylanders Showdown as a whole, because I am so excited for what this series, season, whatever, is gonna be. So, I know that this first episode seems really long, and that's because first up, I haven't nailed it down to a science yet as to how to make these videos, and also I spent several minutes explaining how each segment was going to go. So future episodes should be shorter, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to tell you guys right now. The first episode is going to be about Magna Charge and Blast Zone, so I am super excited to get into this. So without further ado, let's start the very first episode of Skylanders Showdown Season 4. Alright, so the first Skylander that we are going to be talking about is Blast Zone. So, first up, at every episode, I'm going to give a basic breakdown of what a character is before I start talking about what they are like in-game. So, Blast Zone is a Swap Force character, of course, from the Swap Force game, and is a fire-type Skylander, a fire element. So he is going to harness the effects of his bombs, of various rocket abilities, because he is, of course, a rocket movement type, and other sorts of themed abilities relating to rockets, fire, bombs, stuff like that. So in talking about these characters that are, of course, Swap Force characters, I'm going to be talking about them collectively as in their top and bottom halves together. So when I talk about their abilities, I'm going to be actually meshing them together as one body. So without further ado, let's kind of actually talk about what Blast Zone's abilities and moves are. So, of course, one of his main flagship abilities is going to be Bomb Throw. So you're going to press the primary button, and you're going to just throw a bomb right in front of you. It's going to bounce around a couple of times, and at some point, it will explode and deal damage to, you know, whatever is around the bomb when it explodes. Now, Blast Zone's second ability is going to be his Rocket Dash ability, and this is going to actually allow him to utilize his rocket movement capabilities and sort of just blast around the battlefield, charging into things using his rocket boots, dealing damage, and granting him additional mobility. So it's actually not only great for in combat, but it's great for utility movement abilities as well. Now, his third and final basic ability is, of course, going to be his Flame Breath. So when you press the third action ability, it's going to allow him to basically move around, spew out fire, and create a firewall. Now, normally, if you don't actually have any upgrades, it just creates, you know, a ring of fire that will damage, you know, whatever comes into it. But as you upgrade it, you can do a lot of really cool things with it. Considering that Blast Zone is going to be fighting Magna Charge, a ranged character that relies heavily upon firing weapons very quickly, powerful bombs will be an incredibly important upgrade to him, as it will up his DPS by a significant amount, allowing him to go toe-to-toe with Magna Charge. Also important is going to be actually picking the top path. So, of course, Blast Zone has two paths, the top path and the bottom path. The top path focuses on bombs, the bottom path is going to focus on his Ring of Fire. Considering that Magna Charge is ranged, the top path is important. Now, the top path allows him to get flaming bombs, which makes his bombs catch on fire when they pass through the firewall created by Flame Breath, and fired up just improves upon this ability. Also really important is going to be his Soul Gem, Bomb Party. Bomb Party is going to allow him to actually throw two bombs at the same time. Another incredibly important addition, upping his DPS to the point that he will be much more competitive when fighting Magna Charge. And now it is time to move on to the other Skylander who Blast Zone, of course, is fighting, which is Magna Charge. So, Magna Charge is of the tech element and is once again a Swap Force character just like Blast Zone. The only difference is that the bottom, he will be zooming around the battlefield on his little wheel. So Magna Charge overall is based on rapid fire attacks, high DPS, and high mobility. And you'll see that his basic abilities and his upgrades reflect this accordingly. So Magna Charge's first primary ability is going to be Magnet Cannon. So by holding or just pressing the Y button, or the primary attack button for that matter, you'll be able to spew a rapid charge, fire, whatever you want to say, of little magnet pulses out of your gun. Of course, holding it down too long will cause the gun to overheat, but later upgrades will make that ability useful as well. Alright, now, Magna Charge's secondary ability is going to be Magneto Ball. Now, Magneto Ball allows Magna Charge to drag enemies around behind him using his lower half. In addition to this, it's also going to grant him a massive speed boost, which his third ability, Polarized Pickup, allows you to use the third button to simply pick up enemies. And when you press the button again, it's going to slam them down, potentially into other enemies. So by using this ability, you have the potential not only to disrupt one enemy, but potentially a whole group of them. And now for Magna Charge's upgrades. So first up, Plasma Shots is going to be a really important one because it's going to actually drastically increase his DPS, which, as mentioned, is one of the most important aspects of Magna Charge. For his top half, you're going to want to go with the top path, as it is going to be the one that most greatly increases the damage he deals. So what happens is, when he overheats his cannon, he now shoots out a fireball with his first top path upgrade, allowing him to do it, and his second one, Heavy Blaster, increasing the damage that it does. His soul gem for his top half is going to be really important because it is called multi-barreled, and it allows him to actually shoot 3 projectiles at once, which greatly increases his DPS. Now, for his bottom half, it's all about mobility. So first up, Rad Wheels is going to overall increase all of his speed, which is incredibly important in regard to mobility. Also important is going to be his bottom path. So his bottom path is going to allow him to have more mobility. Rapid Repel lets him drag enemies and shoot them while they're still behind him. So he can Rapid Repel to do increased damage. So it's just, you know, what we knew before. And also his soul gem on his bottom half is going to be important because Super Repulsor gives him a new wheel and just basically lets him move faster in general, which, as I've mentioned before, is really important to Magna Charge. Alright, so now you get to hear my 1-minute little discussion as to how each other would fight each other. So, their goal, Blast Zone and Magna Charge, are both just going to be trying to take each other out as fast as possible. Both have insane mobility and insane DPS. Blast Zone is just going to be throwing bombs like nobody's business. Magna Charge is going to be shooting his cannon like nobody's business. Blast Zone is going to be blasting around like nobody's business. And Magna Charge is going to be zooming around like nobody's business. I mean, seriously, they are going to be so mobile. A very, very fast-paced, high-speed battle is going to ensue. So honestly, it's a very tough decision. Now, normally, I would have to make this decision, but we're changing it up this year. We're changing it up this season, and this time, I'm letting you guys pick whether Blast Zone or Magna Charge wins. So, leave down in the comments who you think should win between Blast Zone and Magna Charge. All you have to do is put a name, but if you explain why, that'd be even more awesome. So yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed this very first episode of Season 4 of Skylanders Showdown. I'll be back again, I don't know when, but I'll be back again sometime, and we will banish whoever loses this battle. Unfortunately, you don't get any explosions in this particular episode, but hey, come back next time and you'll get to see your explosions. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys right now. This has been Portal Master 9351. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!